Welcome back to the LCS. We'll be jumping into the match between Team Liquid and FlyQuest in just a bit. But while our team's ready up for Champ Select, we want to say another quick thank you to everyone at home for tweeting along with the games this weekend and helping us feel more together so that we can once again get butts in seats. So, Twitter user at FluffySheep23, as an extra special thank you for your tweets this weekend, you'll be receiving a Kone mouse and Vulcan keyboard from our peripheral sponsor, Rockout. As soon as you hit us up back on Twitter, as always, don't miss out, because it's happened once, I got burned already, Crumbs.
What's with these guys that don't get back to us on Twitter?
I know.
It's a free keyboard, and it's a mechanical keyboard. We need more mechanical keyboards in the world. When I see people still rocking the old style keyboards, it hurts me. You don't need to be a gamer to enjoy these. They are just better.
That's true. Working from home, you use a keyboard every day. Get yourself a nice one there. As we are going to get ourselves into Champ Select in short order. Team Liquid versus FlyQuest. Crumbs. The FlyQuest story has unfortunately been a sad one recently.
Yeah, it really has been a sad one. And they are currently on a 9-game losing streak. And everybody would love to jump on the FlyQuest train and try to diagnose why it's not running at full speed. It's going to be a morale issue. For me, when you are in this hole, it's hard to even believe in yourself that you can actually win. It becomes a habit to fall into the patterns that actually lose you games. So for FlyQuest, I think it just has to be the human element. You gotta focus on raising the morale and getting the team to believe that they can claw themselves out of this position, because oftentimes they do get minor leads. Individual players are making things happen, but when it comes to grouping up together and finding the team fights that they need, there's just no synergy there.
Yeah, definitely the mental edge is an important one to try and get. We'll see if FlyQuest can indeed rally here up against Team Liquid, who have looked pretty good, I would say, on the whole. Again, for a team that's been through as much as they have so far this split, Team Liquid's still looking good despite both having Jenkins in, of course, Armeo playing in place of Santorin due to those health issues.
So I actually think that if there was a time for FlyQuest to break this streak, it would be against Team Liquid today, because Team Liquid currently 0-2, and this was rivalry week. So their two opponents previously were 100 Thieves and Cloud9, juggernauts of the league right now. So I can imagine that Team Liquid put more prep into those two matchups than against FlyQuest, who's on a big losing streak. So this is a good opportunity to find themselves underestimated and potentially give Team Liquid their first 0-3 week of the split.
All right, well, Set, Viego, Gwen banned away by TL, not messing around with Licorice's Gwen today. And Thresh, Zinzao, and Akali. Always a good choice there, so Team Liquid won't have access to that very deadly assassin either. But hey, solo lane situation says Nocturne is the pick.
So they played Nocturne yesterday and they gave it to Jenkins, but a big problem was they just had no synergy with the composition for it. It was Nocturne in the comp that wanted to peel back with the Aphelios. So Team Liquid needs to continue the identity of the first champion that they've selected already. And if FlyQuest can identify that Nocturne wants to go in, you gotta do something about it. Either have the champions that can be very mobile and survive this, or just try to deny the things that Team Liquid wants to compete with this. So Nocturne being a good solo lane, obviously would love to have a Diana. Synergizes very well. A good deny pick and something that Jose Dioro can use to carry.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It's a very powerful first two picks there for FlyQuest. Very flexible solo lane and very powerful jungler. Probably the best current jungler actually is Diana. Rumble's kind of taking a nosedive off the pick order there, so don't see too much of him around lately, as Xayah going to be the pickup here for Tactical, and Rakan will join her.
Okay, now the Rakan obviously loves to flank. We've seen this a bunch from teams in the league where he'll just sneak around, use his knockup to sneak around, set up a good dragon fight, and then the paranoia comes out and suddenly you have no idea where he's coming from. So I'm looking for a lot of synergy, whether it's between Jensen or Jenkins and Core JJ to enable Core JJ. And I like this because it feels like Core JJ is just always such a talented player, but oftentimes just not given the tools to succeed. If he's on Thresh duty, having to use his Lantern all the time, he's not going to shine. But you give him Rakan, you give him Paranoia on top of it, he'll look good.
And interesting, maybe feeling some of that pressure, from Nocturne, from Rakan with that engage. It is Ezreal. It's definitely a pick that Johnson has gone to quite a bit, but Ezreal is significantly weaker now with the Nurse 2 Divine Thunderer. Definitely playable, right? It's not like you're not throwing a pick away here, but definitely not, the Aphelios, Callista, that kind of stuff that we've been seeing more of. Even Xayah actually has risen as well.
Yeah, I think the Ezreal makes sense when you're dealing with the Nocturne on top of it, just because, yeah, he's going to deal a little bit less damage, but you can still survive. You can still survive the dive. Him or Tristana would have been valid choices against Team Liquid, and this is what I was mentioning at the start. deal with the engage that Team Liquid's going to throw at you effectively by picking champions that are hard to dive. Nocturne wants to start snowballing the game in the laning phase. If you can make sure that all your picks are quite difficult to attack with a paranoia, then he's not going to be able to snowball. He's going to go into the mid game with no item advantage, and we saw yesterday how bad a Nocturne looks if he's not ahead.
All right, well, Leona banned from TL, Volibear banned by Fly there. Sejuani is going to join him. I thought so.
That's respect. Respect throwing at Armeo, who's still undefeated on the pick, and with the melee of Jenkins, and you know that Jensen has no problem playing the likes of a pick like a Sylas, it would have some synergy playing to the top side. So now let's see what other remaining junglers would Armeo choose to go for, because Olaf had been his go-to, but they really took a terrible loss. I believe it was against TSM, where the Olaf just did nothing and fell back on the Trundle, which I think is just a lousy pick right now because it doesn't synergize with what the meta is, which is just brawling and heavy engage. He wants to kite back, but he cannot contribute if the enemy is not immediately diving to you. It doesn't allow you to be assertive in the game.
All right, well, Sylas last ban there for TL. So 10 seconds for the FlyQuest's next upcoming pick. Nautilus still among the best supports in the pool. And it does seem like Dreams will be going back to Nautilus once again, especially with Thresh banned out. It's one of his other picks that he plays a decent amount of the time. Could have played Leona, I guess, is pretty common into Zyra Khan because you can lock them down. They are so mobile otherwise, but Nautilus is just so good. Like you said, matters a lot about engage. Nautilus has just about all you ever need.
I'm loving Nautilus. And I don't know if you managed to catch a clip actually on solo queue from Sneaky's stream of an incredible Naut tech I had not seen before, which is you can flash after using the Nautilus ultimate, and then the knockup will start from a little area around your champion. You can just do an incredibly cheesy knockup on other targets. It actually looks bonkers. I wonder if Dreams will be able to play that tech. I don't have a lot of confidence in him being able to do so because he did play mostly Enchanters and Peel champions for the beginning of this split. So the Nautilus is just an effort to put FlyQuest in a position to be more assertive.
All right, well, a very quick Aatrox Leblanc. Last few picks there for Team Liquid, and Wukong is going to be the last one. That's going to line up against the Aatrox, you have to assume. Probably means Power Fox Zone Lee Sin in the mid lane. But of course, they can move around, not just like which player plays the champion, but also which position these players play, right? If you have a matchup you really want, we've seen plenty of teams rotate that around as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Nocturne Jungle too.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, because Armeo's melee champion pool really got hit with Viego, Xin, Lee, and then Volibear taken off. It feels like the priority has fallen down onto Nocturne as your jungler, so it's going to allow him to still play physical damage, synergize with Jensen. And they tried playing Lee LeBlanc earlier this week. It looked terrible. They had no synergy together. So at least with the Nocturne at level 6, it becomes so much more obvious when the timings are to go in and play to this lane. It's not going to be a play to Jensen's lane early, but at least at 6, I need to see Armeo be effective with his ultimate.
All right, makes sense though. Again, like probably want a mage in the mid lane. Like, what other AP jungler do you have?
Yeah.
With Rumble out of the meta, right? Nidalee, not doing it.
Fiddlestick's way too difficult to play, right? It's very easy. You saw 100 Thieves, how they dealt with Jose Diodo's Fiddlesticks yesterday. So teams are catching up. They're wisening to how to deal with this pick. And so Diana is a champion that just can go in whether she has a flank or not. She can strike you from the front, beautiful engage. And if she has a flank, it's even better. So her versatility right now has been one of her greatest assets.
And this is the thing, right? When Rumble was in the meta, it was kind of Rumble only for a lot of teams, even though Diana was very good.
Yeah.
Now Rumble's out of the meta and everyone's playing Diana. So you can very quickly monopolize the AP junglers when you take Diana early, and has kind of, forced TL to make a couple of adjustments. I don't think they're too unhappy with how this draft shook out, but it's interesting to think about, the balance between those junglers when there are so few premier AP junglers.
Yeah, and I think that the teams that actually started playing the Diana in Academy were the ones to pick it up faster in the LCS. So now, though, we're going to go into the game as FlyQuest looks like they just have a defensive level 1, but there's no reason for Team Liquid to actually try to be aggressive. Armeo, very nicely done. We'll know that that has connected, and FlyQuest will have to fall back. I want to see FlyQuest, though, strike at Rift Herald, because TL dropped the ball 2 games this week at Rift Herald. They got aced 0 for 5 against 100 Thieves, and then when they came to Cloud9, they kind of lost in the same way. So I think third time could be the charm. Fight for that early Rift Herald, and maybe Team Liquid mess up again, and you can build a lead from that.
Also a fun matchup again. A free preview for this one is going to be Jensen versus Palafox, LeBlanc versus Lee Sin. A lot of motion in this mid lane, so you know, don't look too long. Perhaps you get a little motion sick as they're bouncing around the mid lane, but definitely a fun one to watch here. Jensen especially pretty well known for his LeBlanc around these parts. I think he still holds the record for number of kills in a single game on LeBlanc, if my memory is serving correctly.
He had an 18-3 win rate before this week. Now it's
Pretty
18-4. So yeah, they're counting on him to actually deliver those win rates. But if he can get 2 Ls on it this week, I don't know how much confidence they can hold onto this pick, because it doesn't feel like it's really Jensen's fault, since this pick really needs to be played around from the rest of the squad.
All right, we'll see what happens here as things develop. At bottom side now, Tactical and Core going to go up against Johnson and Dreams. And of course, it's Licorice on the Wukong up against Jenkins on the Aatrox. Haven't seen his GP in a while, but again, it was fun to see TL kind of move things around here. Jenkins was on Nocturne last time, so Aatrox definitely something he's got plenty of experience on as well.
He wants something that can synergize with what the rest of the team is trying to do. So it's a cohesive identity. Xayah doesn't necessarily fit into everybody else who's trying to dive, but if she has flash, she can obviously contribute flashing with the ultimate and can be really useful at dealing with the Diana. Trying to engage onto an AD carry, guess what? Becoming targetable, you live through it. Same thing with the Nautilus. So it's a way to defend yourself without mobility. It's part of the reason why Xayah is so good right now. If you have Ezreal or Tristana, they can still get hit, but they can move around. Xayah, completely untargetable.
Yeah, I feel like Ezreal and Xayah have like similar missions in these kind of comps where the rest of the team is diving without you. All right, when you're getting dove too, I guess it's up to you. Use that mobility, use those spells, and good luck living.
I like the Ezreal more in that because of his reliability on basic spells as opposed to the ultimate.
Right.
So the Xayah needs to be played around that ability. And so if you can track Dreams' ultimate, then it's a lot easier. But the Ezreal can always just use his Arcane Shift, get over walls. And I think that mobility is more valuable than those few seconds of in-targetability. All
right, well, Ameo are going to go ahead and pick up level 4 pretty quickly here. But Jose is right behind him, does see Ameo with the Scry's Bloom. I'm going to go ahead and take the top crab, but that means bottom crab belongs to Nocturne.
Yeah, he's going to be fine knowing that his bot lane has already pushed out, and with the jungle changes, he won't lose out on any camps. He can just take this and reset. Both junglers will be happy to just start power clearing, especially for our Mayo. As a Nocturne jungle, you really don't want to be wasting your time on ganks that are not guaranteed. It's more important for you to have that consistent level 6, and so power farming will be the best way to get there.
Such a good chain, man. LeBlanc's always with their melee chains just starting in. Does get a lot of good damage down to Palafox, but again, Lee Sin is still pretty robust in lane.
Yes, the W leveling up from him will probably keep him very safe into this matchup. And normally, LeBlanc's would take Ignite, would try to be interested in going for kills, but knowing that you're up against heavy sustain and mobility, just doesn't make sense to go after that against Lee Sin. So he'll happily take the TP and try to influence the map with the side lane pressure, or maybe some dives if Tactical and Jenkins can start shoving waves and crashing them with a big stack on their junglers.
Yeah, Cole going to go walking here. Maybe you can find Jose here in the jungle, as both junglers are pretty interested in clearing as fast as possible and getting access to their ultimates. Makes them much better, but for different reasons when it comes to ganking or fighting.
Yeah, the Nocturne first ultimate, that's always what I'm looking out for when you see this champion. If that ability just doesn't get a kill, it's brutal. You really need to be snowballing to build that cooldown reduction and start stacking that. Otherwise, you're just not offering as much value as other champions inside the game. And even later on, Diana will be more useful. Her Hourglass actually works as an ability to tank. Nocturne just cannot stay alive in the fight long enough to serve for more than a few seconds. So Jose Deodo, I think, will have the advantage in this matchup, and it's why we haven't seen Nocturne jungle more than lane Nocturne.
And you can see it looks like a gank, but it's not really. It's just helping to push the wave back out, because Palafox already wants to take a base. As Jenkins rotates back up to the top side of the map. How's that matchup going, actually? We'll find out in a moment.
Could talk about it on the dive.
Ooh!
It's Tuesdays at 5 a.m. Pacific. That's quite early.
That is very early.
That is very early. I do not wake up at that time.
That's okay. I mean, when you're awake, you can catch it. Actually, 10 behind there for Jenkins as we check in. So Licorice definitely getting some value out of his counter pick here.
Now, Licorice has been getting some value out of just the picks he's getting in the top lane. Lots of Gwens, plenty of times, but it just has not translated to more than lane advantages half the time. Feels like so many times Licorice is over-pressing his advantage and getting punished for it. And here, Jose Deodo is just going to shadow him. They know that Armeo is close to level 6, and with a wave crashing, they want to make sure that he can successfully crash this wave without being ganked. So level 6 on Jenkins, but they know that Diana is still nearby, and with Wukong being level 6, he'll be able to buy enough time with his Cyclone, even if Armeo shows up.
Yeah, Diana's 6 as well, so Armeo actually in a kind of spot of bother here. Jensen roaming up because they need to save him from the 3-pronged attack as Palafox has roamed up topside. That wave crashes in. That will be maybe a plate if the caster creeps can hit a little bit faster, but Jenkins going to AoE them down, and unfortunately that plate gold will not go over, but still nice bit of teamwork there for FlyQuest, making sure Licorice was okay.
Team Liquid had sent Core JJ as well to the top side, so everybody was ready to defend if FlyQuest were to overforce against that Aatrox, which is always a risky proposition. His ability to turn things around with his ultimate can often catch people off guard since he's not even really in the meta right now, so you often forget, hey, he's got a lot of sustain early on without any itemization, so if you don't burst him instantly, you really will struggle, and you see that reflected now from Licorice's itemization. First item, Sheen with an Executioner's Calling. He's looking to put Jenkins on the back foot.
All right, well, Jose continues to clear. KoDoJ finds a ward, and Nocturne is level 6. So Armeo, we will be watching for the first ultimate crumbs. Obviously, Rakan can kind of help set up. LeBlanc actually pretty good at setting up as well. You can land some CC. Even Jenkins, actually. Kind of a lot of good targets here for Armeo. It's just finding the right angle.
Yeah, and that angle will really come down to what abilities does FlyQuest use in the laning phase. Because if Palafox uses his Safeguard, then you have an angle. But even his kick... Oh, here we go.
Jensen, oh, had the flash first there. Now distorts away. Now has to move out of the distortion, but Jose coming back in. Nocturne ulti defensively. Charges in, gets a flash out of Jose Deodo. But now roaming in for Dreams is the Nautilus. KoDoJ here as well. The Armeo going to get queued. KoDoJ looking to maybe make it happen. Q from Dreams in midair. We'll find KoDoJ, but he bounces back to Armeo. Procs the Guardian, and everything dissipates.
Okay, FlyQuest need to get these synergies down. That was an interesting angle since Palafox committed his flash for that play. Even Jose Deodo ended up flashing afterwards, but some huge blunders there. And now they feel like they can at least pressure this Dragon, but Team Liquid have prior on the bot lane. This is not going to be an easy Dragon to take. Team Liquid will contest this.
Yeah, Ko's actually already in the back of the pit. That's a control word for TL as well. So Jenkins has a spot to TP to if he wants to get very aggressive, but Johnson is pushing out first, and it does seem like Team Liquid have made the call to give up the Dragon, so first Dragon will go to FlyQuest.
I mean, they get something for their troubles, but now having burnt flashes in mid and the jungle means that there's some better targets for Team Liquid. Now you can actually go after Jose Deodo. I think he's the easiest pick to go after when you have the Nocturne and the LeBlanc. Great mobility, great change. She won't be able to get away from you, whereas even Palafox without flash can be tricky if you're not spell shielding the kick at the right time. And I don't think we need to see the replay of that earlier fiasco. I am fine just carrying on the game and watching these junglers farm.
All right, well, Jensen gets blue. Armeo's going to keep farming up, and we'll wait till the ultimates are once again back off cooldown. Rift Herald also an objective teams can play for. You highlighted earlier, Crumbs, that Team Liquid have perhaps made some missteps around that objective.
That's the missteps that FlyQuest got to capitalize on. Right? You got to study your opponents, see what they've been struggling with this week. Herald is started, and it is under vision. Diana is in the area. Look at that, though. The bottom lane for Team Liquid is also roaming up. Ezreal is not here, so if FlyQuest commits to fighting this, they could be in for a surprise.
Yeah, Ezreal all the way back here base. Johnson kind of an ulti. It's on cooldown right now, so Rift Herald half health. But FlyQuest are looking to try and make something happen here. Everyone from TL is here. Jensen's going to go in. They find the chain on Jose. Exhaust is down as well. Rift Herald gets picked up. First blood over to Tactical. And now Team Liquid maybe looking to pick up more. That's not the real Wukong, so Licorice does get away. But a kill on a Herald, that's exactly what TL wanted.
What was I saying? You gotta pick on Diana. She's got no flash, easy target, and FlyQuest thinks that they can just walk up to Team Liquid and that they won't react. They thought that they could encircle them and have the perfect setup, but Team Liquid instantly jump on their Jensen with his mobility spells, can just easily close the gap, and there's just no chance for FlyQuest to react. FlyQuest thought that there was an opportunity against Team Liquid, but they were better prepared. They clearly watched the VODs of the first two games from this week and done something about it. The answer was just send the bottom lane before you start the Herald.
And as a result, getting that first blood Tactical, about 500 gold ahead of the next person, which is on his team as Jensen. So Feeling pretty good about the early game for the Xayah. Has the call halfway done, so watch this one again.
So let's see. Under vision, you've got 2 wards from FlyQuest, but this one at the try sees Jose Deodo, and Team Liquid can instantly start making their game plan. Who do we go after? Pings are going onto Jose. They know he's the easy target, and then when LeBlanc starts joining the fight, I think that's when they actually pull the trigger. I wonder if it's him and CoreJJ together because they don't know that Dreams is here, but Jensen is entirely out of vision, goes through the control ward, and it's just too late. Jose just can't do anything about it, and I really like the exhaust here to make sure that there's just no way that FlyQuest can combo enough damage to turn. They even get Licorice's flash and ultimate out of it.
Yeah, Licorice was trying to find a flank because they were looking to try and set something up, but like you said, before that play even started, we looked where the Ezreal was, nowhere to be seen. Maybe not a fight FlyQuest should have taken, but as a result, Team Liquid will happily take the early advantage here in this game. They're up a Herald, they're up a kill, and as a result, that's actually a pretty big gold lead for just the first Blood Gold and whatever plates you've gotten. Well, 1,400 gold about there.
You know, I think that play really highlights some of the issues that FlyQuest is having, which is players trying to do too many things by themselves. So Sudiota's thinking that I got to do something about this Herald, not thinking about my team, not thinking about what the enemy can do against me, knowing that I just burned my flash. And so he thinks that he has to take the burden of stopping the Rift Herald by himself, ends up paying big time for it. And now with this lane swap, Team Liquid does have Nocturne pathing to the top side, so they will be able to push for more than FlyQuest can get after, since Jenkins will be able to hold Wukong safely, and still the bot lane for FlyQuest is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Tactical, though, is just racking up gold in this game, as Ameo is actually the first one to finish on Mythic. Kind of went for it pretty quickly there, so makes sense why he was there so fast, as Rift Tower does get summoned. Ameo did have that in the back pocket. That'll finish off the tower that Tactical has prepared. And Team Liquid might even push through here if they feel like they can get more damage done, but no need to be risky there. Just go back and take the advantage you already have.
Feels good. You got the Dragon coming up in a minute, and FlyQuest is just not set up to answer with anything. They reset at the same time, so maybe they are interested in taking these fight at Dragon as well, but they are already behind in itemization. You have double Mythics completed. It would be unwise to take a look at taking these team fights at this stage, so FlyQuest need to come up with an idea to answer the Dragon as opposed to taking a fight there, and something that they've really been struggling with. At least now, though, that you will have the teleport on the Wukong, teleport on Lee Sin if they want to play side lanes, but so will Team Liquid. So there are options for FlyQuest to play through. They just need the vision to be able to execute on them.
Tactical, though, just so strong already in this game. Got the first Blood Gold, converted that into a Gale Force nice and quickly. Luden's Tempest also done for Jensen, so already having on Dragon, I think FlyQuest will be happy to split the difference on the first two. And of course, Ocean and Mountain have already passed, so it's Cloud or Infernal for today.
Okay. I mean, those are going to be fantastic for both these teams. I am looking into Team Liquid actually getting this one, though, because they have so much control now on this map. And at least now, Fly is doing something about it. They are sending 3 people topside. Even Lee Sin was in the area trying to zone off Jenkins. But he's now thinking that the danger has passed, that he can come back to the lane, and he does so because CoreJJ is shadowing him. If FlyQuest pull the trigger and try to dive Jenkins, CoreJJ can't counter.
All right, well, Jenkins actually hanging out here, but as you mentioned, Core is right behind him, so Jenkins should be able to safely get the rest of this farm. Jose, though, is going to take the blue buff, did steal that away as the map is somewhat split right now. Core, though, trying to sweep out vision, has to go the respectful way out and will indeed take the long way around back towards the safety of the mid outer tower. So Dreams does not pick up one for free there in the jungle.
They just had no opportunity to do anything. That angle was when CoreJJ is moving through the Wolf camp, but there's nobody there. Right, the wave is already crashing. Palafox is coming back, so FlyQuest is just not set up to do anything. Still lingering here, though. You need Johnston to push in this wave. It's going to be a cannon, and now there's no response for Team Liquid except pushing bot side. So this has to be the play for FlyQuest. You got to commit to something. They're zoning off the wave. Let's see what Jenkins does.
Jenkins
4 people!
TP or no? Maybe not. Just maybe leave him die there. Teleport's coming in for the other side, and Jenkins will indeed be left for dead. It's Johnson that picks up the kill, and Fly will get the tower to boot.
Okay, but that feels like you committed too many members. You usually just want to send 1 more, maybe 2 more if it's a tough champion to take down. But you're losing 2 turrets off that play. That is not worth it. That's why it took so long for them to find something, since Team Liquid used all that time to set up what their counterplay was going to be. Team Liquid will happily trade Jenkins' life for 2 objectives all game long. It's now a 5,000 gold lead, and still FlyQuest without an answer. Going after Tactical, he has enough mana for ults.
All right, well, ulti's out. But Nocturne ulti's back in, and now Jose Diodo, sorry, is forced to flash away. Armeo, though, connects the Fear under Power. And the mana's not really there for Zaya, but the damage is Palafox. Looks to make the outplay, doesn't grab it as Tactical. He's able to connect for the kill, and now being pulled back into the chains. Jose is going to be left to Jenkins. As Jensen wanted to steal it, but he didn't quite
man, all right, FlyQuest. We need to have a talk because these games are just not cutting it. There's just no synergy here happening between these plays. They're not coordinated enough to actually pull these off, and so Team Liquid has such an easy time just responding to them. They know they have a paranoia to actually pick on these targets, so the teleport's not going to be a real threat. FlyQuest is really on the back foot, and normally you'd feel, okay, you got to chain these plays together. A few kills that you can get back to claw yourself into the game, but even chaining these plays is proven to be a struggle, because let's see how this plays out. See, the teleport goes out, but who is nearby? Right, Diana is so far away, doesn't actually even get a proc a Q before going on to Tactical, so it's not going to have a reset going on to Tactical or enough damage. So they're just not together when these plays are happening.
Again, I like the different Palafox, but flashing over there, here's a little desperate as Tactical's able to finish that off, and then everyone's cut off here. Jose can't get back in. Jenkins did actually TP down to that bottom lane to make it happen. Licorice doesn't have his teleport either, so all those globals burnt. Not able to really respond quickly to these plays. And Tactical is just playing Demolition as Cordo going in. Onto Palafox they go, but Core maybe going to get himself outplayed, but no! It's he that outplays Palafox. Tactical is on a killing spree.
Well executed from Team Liquid. Palafox is not respecting the damage that Tactical has. Maybe he's thinking that it's still the same Zaya from the earlier play, but now she's got 2 items. She has an Essence Reaver now. It's looking kind of done here for FlyQuest. And I gotta be honest, Pastry, I thought that this game they would have actually subbed in the Academy team. Because when the Academy team came in, at least those 3 members, they looked pretty strong. They looked like they had some better synergies that we're currently seeing from FlyQuest. And so right now, I think that that would be some of the best bets to not only incentivize the rest of the squad, but breathe some life into these games.
All right, well, on the Team Liquid side, they can be very happy with how this game is going. They are 7,500 gold ahead. Tactical is built truly different this game, almost has Infinity Edge done there for this Zaya.
He is large and in charge of this game.
All right, well, Dragon coming up in 55, but I don't think we're going to get to the Soul at this pace. Team Liquid are just going to continue to play fast, lean on the big advantage that Tactical's built up on the Zaya. Now Jensen's also getting there. He's got Sork Shoes on top of the Ludens, building in towards item number 2. We got 2 tanky boys with 2 Stride Breakers, so top side is feeling good, and Core JJ is going to tie the room together with Shirley's Battle Song also completed. So a very tough game for FlyQuest to play right now.
Oh, they are attempting their final stand here at the Dragon, though, setting up multiple members around the Dragon, but still the waves aren't being taken care of. That's Team Liquid's job right now, so they've now surrounded FlyQuest. And how are they going to pull this off? Because I think they just spotted them. Jensen just used his shift, but will ulti out of it if he really needs to. So still FlyQuest now under vision.
How many
up another turret
has Tactical killed this game? Teal of 6 towers to 1. Yeah. How many of those is Tactical
He took
killed?
them all. He took, actually, he didn't take the mid-tier one.
Jenkins, that's a 1v1 right now. Don't let the Wukong deceive you. Armeo over the top. Everyone else going to follow through. Core JJ finds 3 with the Charm knock-up combo. And Team Liquid going to make it look so easy. Armeo just going to die at the end to Johnson's ulti, but he will trade his life for 4 for FlyQuest.
There's just not a chance. They are not giving FlyQuest an opportunity to breathe. They can sense the fear in FlyQuest right now, and they just pull the trigger instantly. When Jenkins is on the flank, they know that the engage is not going to be coordinated from FlyQuest. And Core JJ is carrying your fantasy points, Pastry. I told you he'd do it. This man finds the beautiful engage, the ones that all Rakans dream of. Just get everybody grouped together in that charm.
Little 1v1 kick things off, but yeah, it's Core JJ that really kicks this one off. Armeo, they're getting in there.
Still in paranoia. Core JJ pops the ultimate, and then bam, everybody gets hit by that. The Wukong feared at the side won't really do much. Yeah, sure, he gets a few knockups. You kill Armeo at the end, but the damage is all done.
They almost let him live there as well. It was the True Shot Barrage. They ended up killing him at the end of the day, but very nicely coordinated there between Armeo and Core.
No mercy. No mercy for Team Liquid. Or for FlyQuest from Team Liquid.
The face of Core JJ. Does that look like the face of mercy to you, Chrome?
It looks like the face of cold, calculated League of Legends.
404 Zayas, because Tactical, again, he's finished Infinity Edge at 20 minutes to join his 2 other items.
It's too bad we don't have Samsung SSD for the multiple mythics completion here, because he would be the fastest.
Oh, Dreams, I like the play, but great ult there for Tactical. And now Ameo counter Nocturne ulti, back in we go. Not yet, deciding to show some discipline.
I like that. I like that. Not pulling the trigger on that one, because he surely would have died, but CoreJJ can get out of this. And then that's, again, another attempt from FlyQuest onto Tactical, but quick fingers is all he needs to get out of that one. Still didn't look like FlyQuest actually had members quite ready to follow up on that engage. Diana was a little bit close, would have taken some large commitment from multiple FlyQuest members, but now that there's no Nautilus flash, who else can step up to the plate and find an avenue? Tactical's ultimate's already halfway there. And we can see that CoreJJ's Rakan,
that's not bad,
win rate is pretty good.
Yeah, 12-3 and 83% kill participation across his LCS career.
What about his LCK career?
I don't know. You have to ask somebody else for that.
Right. Combine the two, still probably amazing. He did win Worlds at LCK, so you probably get a really high win rate off of winning that championship.
I don't know. He had some not so good games as well in the LCK. But you know what? We'll see what happens. Team. Oh, that does include his Dignitas games, but he didn't play support then. Rakan actually wasn't even a champion back then, so didn't have that stint on his career to potentially bring down the win rate.
Yeah, that was a stint.
Alrighty, Licorice looking for the flag. I love the play from Fly. They have to try something here. Team Liquid, how do they magic their way out of this one? Oh goodness, they just slay Licorice as Jenkins is going to delete Wukong off the rift. Jensen looking to delete to himself there, and Tactical will be done, but he will not be slain as Armeo is going to finish it off. Tactical's gone unstoppable, and there's one left for the Aces. Team Liquid will kill all 5.
All right, I have one request for Team Liquid. Just march this wave in and end this game, because FlyQuest is attempting to put up these fights, but there is just nothing that they can throw at Team Liquid that phases them. They're not going to go for it. They will just go for the Baron and use this for their final push afterwards. A valiant attempt. You had the teleport on Wukong, but they're just too far behind. The rest of the team just can't burn through the Team Liquid front line and assist Licorice on the back.
Crumbs, they would end the game, but it's 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The death time is at 2 shots.
That's what I'm saying. It should have been a 20-minute game. It really should have been. I would have liked to see them try. I really wish. There's just so much. You could have taken FlyQuest fight at the base again and win, but sometimes you just don't want to offer that kind of disrespect. But frankly, I feel like you could have, because at the end of the day, Pastry, this is Team Liquid, one of our most winning LCS teams, going up against FlyQuest, who's on a losing streak. Now, I understand Team Liquid does have some newer players in the lineup, might want to take it easy, might want to ensure that this week does not end 0-3, but dang, they are so far ahead.
All right, well, Tactical's 4 items now for everyone playing at home. That is 2 more than Johnson has, including completed boots. They both have those. Jensen has decided the game is over. If you're wondering, he's going to Magi. He's got 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. This is a very understandable purchase. The value was very nice.
You almost would resent him for not buying it at this stage.
I would be cranky at him. I think, oh, Licorice caught in the side lane, nowhere to go. It's Tactical dominating with kill number 6.
All right, keep going. Get in there.
Right on. Ooh, mid lane is the target. Hello? Johnson was, I think, fighting Jensen, and that obviously was not a fight he won. Jose Diodo now going to get wrapped in the fear tether. Jensen looking for more, trying to grab more pages in the book. Jose Diodo going to gift him the double demands up to 18 stacks.
Another one.
And Palafox indeed, like DJ Cal. Don't get another one as Tactical is gone godlike.
All right, this is going to be the end game push for sure. The death timers are way too long. They've got the Baron. Team Liquid with an unsurprising but still completely commanding win.
I mean, with a favorite to win, yes. Did we expect him to win so emphatically? Perhaps not, but Team Liquid will finish their weekend off in style, Crumbs, as there's only the Nexus left. Give me my fantasy points! Get in there, Team Liquid! Is that going to get bounced around by Dreams' ulti, but I think the damage has been done. Tactical will indeed go legendary and will be shut down at the end of it all. But Team Liquid going to finish off the Nexus and finish the weekend in style.
Some good smiles on the side of Team Liquid there, and using this as a confidence builder off of an 0-2 start, but still the game felt perhaps almost too easy for them. This team has such high expectations of themselves that delivering a win here was something that they absolutely expected.
All right, I'm just checking how many points CoreJJ has won me. And the answer is 27 in that game. That's pretty good.
For a support. That's pretty good.
All right, I think that's enough. Claudio J, I beg of you, I hope you brought me over the line. Unfortunately, we won't know the answer to the actual result until the end of the day. We do have to wait. I have to wait, at least for the final game. But Team Liquid looking really good there. Nice way to close out their weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side, you got FlyQuest here, and you just got to shake it up, right? Things clearly aren't working on this side. Just change it. Just throw something at the wall. They've been trying so many different compositions, trying to figure out what champions work best for them. It just hasn't stuck. I think the changes have to be more than draft. It has to be something within the team. Simply a change of attitude isn't working. I just think you got to start using your entire roster now.
I mean, we'll see, right? Not a question we'll get an answer to until next week, but for Team Liquid, they certainly will be happy with bringing home the dub to finish things off. I guess they were trying to stack the Magi's all the way. I think that's what they were going for at the end there.
I wish we could track that on the stat, because we really don't get to see that who had the most stacked Magi's. We know who bought them,
yes,
but we don't know what pages they ended up filling out.
All right, well, perhaps one day we'll have the technology, but after the break, as we will be going to on Dash, we'll be talking with Jensen, our Verizon post-game interview. We'll see you there.
#1 spot, yeah. No key, got the game on lock, ayy. Big threes when I take my shot, ayy. On the rise and we ain't gon' drop on the grind. It's our time, just watch. If you want it, you can get it. Life gets hard, but don't you let it get you down. Go get the crown because our time is now. Ayy, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Ayy, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. We can't be contained when we leave the game. Our name will remain. We don't need the fame. You can keep this chain. We broke free, so things won't be the same. Nah, on the mission, gotta get it. Let's work. We were raised on the net. I'm raising my net worth, but it ain't about the money. Nah, it ain't about the cause. All that matters is the world knows who we are. Stars. If you want it, you can get it. Life gets hard, but don't you let it get you down. Go get the crown because our time is now. Hey, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Hey, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. Know that our time is now. Yes, life can get hard, but don't ever let it keep you down. See, we are all kings and queens and we all deserve crowns. So don't wait. Get up, go out and get it. Now. Hey, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Hey, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. We gotta get it. Gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. Gotta get it, gotta get it, get it.
Welcome back to the LCS and the Verizon post-game interview. I'm standing by with Jenkins after a dominant victory here to close out the weekend. Was a tough weekend, though, at that, after starting off 0-2, but finished it off in this kind of fashion. I'm curious now, as we crest the halfway point, Jenkins, how you feel about the split, the way it's gone, and reflect on it ultimately.
Right. This split has gone, it's been like very up and down. We went 2-1 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and then yeah, now we got our first 1-2 week. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how I performed, but I know I could do better.
I mean, so within that, we talk about expectation coming in. You slotted into a team that just as an organization has a lot of expectation, coming hot off of a finals appearance against Cloud9. You had to step into the shoes of the person, Alfari, who was the most dominant top laner in the LCS in spring. What was that like for you to join the LCS, you know, one, but then two, to do it with all that kind of burden thrust upon your shoulders?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of pressure, of course, because Alfari is like considered to be one of the best, if not the best Western top laner. But because of how much support I was getting from the LCS staff and the Team Liquid community, yeah, I was just pretty happy. I mean, the pressure was rough, but I'm still happy that I got the chance.
Well, you seem to have handled it with grace, to say the least. I am going to kind of tip my cap to something you said to me off camera before we came online. I asked you if you were going to do anything else later today. You said, I might go home in 1v1 Alfari. Talk to me a bit about that experience, specifically being a top laner and kind of how that affords you that ability to practice one-on-one with your counterpart.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things you could practice in a one-on-one because usually top lane's pretty isolated. In the early parts of the game, some top laners, of course, need pressure, but I think in that like kind of environment, you can test things that you normally wouldn't want to do unless you knew it worked 100% on stage.
Very interesting. Well, within that, I'm also curious from the perspective of being a newcomer on the stage and how narrative ultimately that, you know, both we on the broadcast and the community paints, you know, kind of plays into your story overall. We've all known you, or at least we're introduced to you as a Kennen one-trick in the top lane, absolutely dominant on that champion. It's been made very clear to us over the past 5 weeks that you are far more than a Kennen one-trick. I'm just curious where you see yourself at now in the story of Jenkins, and ultimately, if we're to look ahead to the final chapter of your career, what do you think that final chapter looks like?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just don't want to be remembered as a Kennen one trick. I just want to be remembered as like a top laner who could do what was best for his team. I think that's what I am looking for.
I think it's fair to say we're already well past Kennen one trick, so let me give you some assurances there. Final question is just what it's like, again, to kind of work alongside some of these greats. What's beautiful to me about the LCS now is that we have young players, you know, stepping into slots alongside two-time LCS champion in Jensen, world champion Core JJ. For you, what's that experience been like, and have they imparted any special wisdom to you as champions as you kind of jumpstart your career here in the LCS?
Yeah, I think the mentality they have, like, even though we lose, it's just, you know, keep going forward, and they're just, yeah, I mean, yeah, just every loss we take is just not taken terribly. It's just like, just improve from that. Everything's like a learning experience. So I'm just very happy that they are supportive of me.
Loses, improve, baby. Loses, improve. Well, Jenkins, congratulations on the victory today. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
From here, we're going to a break. When we come back, we're closing out the day with Dignitas versus Immortals. Stay tuned.
They've got to get the Mountain Drake here if they want to have any chance of being able to salvage this game, but no! It's stolen away at the last moment with a beautiful smite to end this game. GG, well played!